welcome. Welcome. Just welcome.
Welcome to the Sonder Sides podcast.
It's great to be here. It always is. Honestly, I don't know how I like the standing thing.
Really? I feel
Because
great.
well, I know you do because you're like 3 inches, 4 inches above me. Probably
you are
more.
so aware of the height difference.
Well, if you listen to the last podcast, I just labeled myself short and I accepted it. So it's okay to be short. It's love it. I just love not being able to dunk. I just love
Not being able to reach your microphone stand without bringing it down.
super cool.
You love it when girls look down at you on dates.
Love that.
You know, I'm jealous of you.
Oh.
I
Really?
wish I was in your boat.
Tell me why.
You know, being tall, at least you don't have to duck.
You are not that tall.
I know. I'm like an inch taller.
I know, like, get out of here.
You're not that short either, actually. So
You know,
Get over
what's
yourself.
funny about that is you're right. And I don't think I'm that short until, like, certain situations. Like, for example, this one, I'm like, jeez, dude.
yeah,
Why do I
and
have
what
to
is
be
it? It's
so
like,
short?
can somebody get the measurement on this?
It's like a few inches. Just like usual. And, so it's not a big deal. Not big at all. Tiny details.
Can't handle it. I can't handle it. It's awesome.
Small and simple things.
No.
Anyways, we're talking about the roads less traveled on. So we thought about this topic of discussion about the roads less traveled on in lots of different meanings of the phrase. In that we should always be trying new things. Like we always have like a main path of life or our habits or our routine, and sometimes it's really good to get out of those routines and try new things. And we saw that on a recent trip that we did when we went down to southern Utah, like Lake Powell area.
Yeah, and we say Lake Powell area because it was basically like all we knew is we had a few days off from work, a few days of being down there to camp, and we looked up a couple things on Google Maps. It looked cool, and we said, we'll try it out.
That's what you did. For me, when I drove down to Flagstaff, where I'm from, I was driving down the road, and I was like, that rock looks cool. I would like place a pin on Google Maps of like, I should go explore that. Oh, that slot canyon looks cool. I should go explore that. And I've taken that road like 30 times at least, you know, and this was like the first time when I just kind of like looked out instead of just like looking in front of me and just driving to my destination. Like it was really cool to see everything that I don't usually see very often. Yeah.
Yeah, so the theme is going along that, like that trip is a very visual representation for us of taking a road less traveled, because it literally was like both of us were in the mindset of like, there's cool stuff all around this area. We're just going to drive down these roads that possibly lead to it or that do lead to it. Sometimes we didn't really know, sometimes we did. And it was fun. It was a great trip. It was every day, and everything that we saw, every road that we took was just like, boom, bam. This is cool. Look at these rocks. Oh, that's so different than these rocks. That's so cool.
This was one of those trips that, like, no matter what you did or where you went, you just always ended up at just, like, somewhere so sick and so cool. And so it was kind of funny, just, like, the minimal effort that was put into planning this. It was funny with how good the outcome was.
Yeah, like one of the best. It was literally, like, everything that we did. And it was all like, generally close to one another, too. So it was like, boom, we were at this spot, 40 minutes later, boom, a whole nother beautiful, different spot. And it was fun. It was awesome.
We've always had this idea, but national parks kind of suck sometimes. Like, they're very beautiful, obviously, and that's why they're a national park. But if you've ever been to Zion National Park, you know what we're talking about, because it's like Disneyland for national parks.
Like Disneyland for the outdoors, yeah.
Yes, there's so many dang people. We waited in line for like 2 hours just to get on the bus.
And we were there early, too. And we were still, like, towards the back of the line. It was BAD news.
I was like, B-A-D. Oh, bad. Yes, bad news bears even.
Which is unfortunate because, like, we do, like Trevor said, it's awesome that there's these national parks that protect these beautiful pieces of land. It's so awesome. but we have this like deep down desire and jealousy of Lewis and Clark and the idea of like just explore, like true exploring Earth and especially the country.
Like finding things for the first time and not just going to a pin just because everybody like Angel's Landing, like just going because it's on the list of cool things to do in Zion, you know? But like think about Lewis and Clark, like if they found Zion, they would just be like, what in the world? Like I was just in a forest and then this thing is just crazy. It would be so freaking cool. We wish we were them.
We wish, dude. And honestly, what's funny about it is we don't even know a lot of their stories. So today was the first day, just out of curiosity, that I even like. I'm sure they taught it in history classes. I probably just wasn't paying close enough.
You probably
attention.
cheated in that class too. Just like Spanish too.
But yeah, no, it is. It's a awesome idea. However, it's also awesome, and this is the beautiful thing about technology, is that it's like it's so beautiful and it sucks at the same time. Like Zion National Parks are so well known, and it's great because we also do get to know of things like Angel's Landing and the Narrows and all these cool stuff that we can specifically go to and know what we're getting ourselves into. Versus Lewis and Clark are like, I'm canoeing down this thing with this Indian lady Sacagawea and her baby we just met, and we're gonna hopefully live. You know, like there's definitely pros and cons to
yes,
both.
like we say we wish we were them, but we would have probably died the first week. So
Definitely, yeah. Actually, no, we would have lived for
we would have,
a week and a half probably at least.
Yeah, maybe we would have, but we're not them. So
We don't know.
yeah, in today's world, it is cool to see that people, especially like people who can't get around that easily, like when they go to a national park, it's pretty well maintained, so they're not, so they're just like able to do it. You know?
Right, the roads are all nice, so any car can
Right.
get there, whatever age you are, whether disabilities or anything like you said, Trevor. So
But when we went to, so we just moved to Utah, like almost 2 years ago, and there's 5 national parks in southern Utah alone. So there's a lot of national parks and things to go see, and they're all very beautiful. But something that we found that is kind of more our style, I would say, like everybody has their style. People go to national parks, cool, good for them. I think we hit them just to say that we did, and then we've just tried to find like more low key places that are kind of like our places, our finds.
I think we hit them, at least for me. I was really excited. I had never, ever known or seen anything like
Oh yeah, I mean,
Zion,
yeah,
like it was for sure cool. But then when you're there and you realize like I'm butt to butt with these people on Angel's Landing, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to be in the outdoors with like a gazillion people. Like like you said, it feels like an amusement park. It feels like I'm waiting in line to go on a roller coaster, even though there's no roller coaster.
right. And so it's been cool for us to like go and find these just like unknown people or unknown places, and it's this motto of embracing the unknown and finding those things, and really all of those places and those things are so close to like where you live, but you don't see them as, you know, like I was saying, like I took that road 30 plus times, and I've never like once been like, oh, that's a cool spot. It looks cool. Like I should go explore that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's so many places around us and our normal lives that we take for granted, I guess.
For sure. And I think we got caught in that too, as we would go to southern Utah a lot, and we live like central-ish, more northern central, I guess, of Utah, Salt Lake. So we were going and exploring all these pretty places, but then we realized that we weren't even around, like we weren't exploring anything around Salt Lake, the city. We weren't exploring the outdoors just around Salt Lake that were a lot closer, probably a lot easily accessible, you know? There's just a lot of opportunities regardless of where you're at, where you're located. I feel like there's spots and places that you can find or that you can explore on your own that are nearby. And that's what we found, that's what we realized by going and driving 4 hours rather than like an hour and a half. But again, they're different. They're just different experiences, both of them. So it is kind of like what you want and what you're looking for.
Yeah, I guess just have like having an open eye or like an open mind is pretty important when you're trying to think of just like exploration. Like there's so many places that you could do. locally. I think what Pierce and I are trying to say is that like we've lived in Salt Lake and we realized that we were spending so much time out of Salt Lake that when people would ask us like, hey, what's there to do in Salt Lake, we didn't really have a good answer because we weren't taking advantage of our surroundings. And so then we just like started creating this list of restaurants we wanted to try, places we wanted to go, hikes that we wanted to do locally, and started to realize that there was so much in just 30 minutes or less minutes away from our house.
Exactly. And thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to say. But getting back to the idea, regardless of how far away it is, of traveling and just taking a road less traveled, right, is that we just have so many experiences. There's that other time in southern Utah. I don't remember what trip it was. It may have even still been the Lake Powell trip. It was the one where you got all your drone footage from that really small Bryce Canyon looking spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was another thing. It was literally like we just saw a trail and we saw on the map that there were some cool looking rocks. It's usually how it always goes. And we just hiked up this, not really a trail, I don't think. I mean, I don't really know.
Just like a hill.
A hill of rocks, and it was really cool. It was really unknown. Like I don't know who knows about it, but it felt very loose and Clarky, and we loved that. It was great, regardless of if it is super well known or not, I guess. And there's a similar instance on a different trip when we found like a really unique rock and thing, and it was
when you say it like that, a nice
special rock. Different unique rock
in southern Utah.
Yeah, wow.
Next to all the red rock.
It does sound pretty generic, huh?
But it was super cool. It was like this big boulder, this solo boulder, like really not next to anything else, just kind of there with like a tunnel through it and like a campsite, and there was a fire pit, and there was like a pretty well built bench like right next to it. Anyway, just like really cool, and we wouldn't have gone to it. It was kind of on a side road while Pierce and I were just hiking on this main road with a couple friends, and we kind of got separated, and we were just doing our own thing, and we looked at each other and we're like, do you want to go on this road? And we're like, yeah, sure. We just like barely made the decision last minute. We took like 20 steps and we saw it and we're like, oh my gosh, this is freaking sick.
This is awesome. Yeah. Imagine like a meteor that hit the ground and it made a perfect campsite. And there's a tunnel through it. That's what it's like.
Poof, campsite. Thank you. And yeah, and we never would have found both of these locations that Pierce was talking about if we didn't just try this like random trail, this random route. And saying similar to the Lake Powell trip, we wouldn't have found all of those cool camping spots and those sites if we didn't just try it. If we would have just gone to the main points that everybody goes to, it would have been Instagram worthy, because like, oh hey, they hit the checkbox of that picture that everybody gets. But really this made it more unique, and it's like a place that Pierce and I know that is more our spot rather than Instagrammable spots.
Like we went to the spot that everybody knows. It's more of a spot that we know of.
And that we found.
Yeah, and it's more of this idea of exploring and just like, whoa, this is sweet, this is cool. I feel like you can even apply that type of an idea into just normal life too. Again, going back to other ideas we've talked about is just exploring, taking roads less traveled in your own personal life too, whether it is adventure in the outdoors or whether it's just other avenues that you can find that you find interest in. Like if there's a little peak of interest, you might as well just take a couple steps down the road. You never know what you might find that you might love or you might see. It might be a cool ass rock. It might be a new job that pays better and that you like, or it might be, whatever it is. I don't know.
I think every single time that we've thought about doing something and we debated it and then we did it, we never regretted it. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. There's been experiences where it's like, well, that was pretty lame, but at least we tried it, and it was, we know that it's not cool. We don't have to try it again. But there are a lot of those instances where we try it and it's like, wow, this is going to be something that we go back to all the time, and we're going to show other people that are worthy. They have to earn that spot for us.
The select few.
The select few of Sonders. But it is, like Pierce was saying, there's different ways that you can apply this. I didn't know that dropping out of college and moving to Utah and pursuing this new job was going to lead to me creating this business. If I didn't take that route, I wouldn't have been here. And so there's so many different routes and ways that you can live life and decisions that come up in people's lives that if they don't take it, they never know. And so I guess that's just the overall story and connection, is that just trying new things, whether that be going to that place that you've seen on the road that you've always wanted to go to, or that new business you want to try, or a new hobby you want to try out.
Yeah. Get out there, try some new stuff, take a road less traveled, and enjoy it.
Hey.
Make fun of it if it sucks. You know, like, it is fun.
Yes.
Like, when stuff sucks, it's okay. That's life. There's a lot of things that suck in life, and that's okay. And that's the fun of it. Sometimes it's not going to be glorious. It's not going to be a grand rock that's waiting at you at the end of this road.
Which is unfortunate for you, because it was cool.
It will be unfortunate, but we've been there, and everyone has, and everyone will.
Yeah, it's cool when you say that, because it's okay to not live an adventure that everybody else or another person has lived that you want to live. And that's why, like, comparison is so damaging these days, is because you see people on Instagram and you see them doing these things, and you're like, you feel like you should be doing that as well. But you have a totally different adventure, a totally different life. Going to Sonder, you know, you are the main character of your story, and that's going to be however you write it, not just living in other people's footsteps. It's making your own path. It's being a bushwhacker. Bushwhack through life, man.
Plow through that.
Plow. I think everybody has those experiences, though, of something that they almost didn't do and did, and it worked out great. I love hearing those stories, though.
You know what? Yeah, and I also love hearing the stories that don't. I hit on a girl at a bar.
I was like, what?
And
you did what?
she had a boyfriend. So, like, you miss all the shots you don't take. How's that go? You miss all the...
I don't know if I should save you by cutting this out or just play it through, because this is awesome. You already said it. You miss all the shots you don't take.
So, take some shots in sports, in the outdoors,
in the
with
bar.
your family, in the bar.
Just
everything. It makes life better.
Amen. So whatever your story is or was or your experience, that is cool. Like, I love hearing about that stuff. And so, like, if you want to leave I don't even know how to do this. If you want to leave a review, 5 stars preferably, and give us, like,
I'll take a 1 star. I'm cool with 1 stars.
Yeah, we just be honest, I guess. 1 or 2 or 5. Yeah, we just want to hear, like, your stories, and that's what Sonder Sites is all about, is people and exploring. And so we want to hear your fun stories, and we want you to be a part of all of this,
Yeah, and we care. Like, if there's something that you're genuinely curious about, whether it's our lives or the outdoors, adventure, business themed things, let us know too, because we're honest. We just like to talk. We're down to clown, apparently. So,
I mean, you're looking at the 2 men with turtlenecks, if you're on YouTube. So, anyways, ask us a question, leave us a review, tell us what you want to hear, and we're super open. So, anywho, I think that concludes what we want to talk about. Take the road less traveled on.
Just turn right or left on that road.
Or don't turn and go straight.
Or U-turn.
Whatever floats your boat.
Backflip, maybe.
Or drives your car.
Or don't drive your car. Walk.
Or whatever makes your walking feet walk.
Or your mouth talk.
Okay. Anyways, we're super stoked to hear about your experiences. So, hoorah. Inspire, adventure, and keep on going. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and we will see you on the next one.
Adios.
Bye.